Hello, Tim from Fairplay Now on the 5th of July 2021. My last video about barley was a little bit downbeat, so I thought I'd just sort of bring us all up again with the more upbeat video. And this is a couple of recommendations, channel recommendations, people who I've been watching here and there, and I've enjoyed their channels and found them to be kind of entertaining, uplifting, and generally sort of gets you sort of feeling good. And these two channels, they're very, very different. The two guys are extremely different, pretty much opposite ends of the scale, but I suppose that just sort of shows how diverse my tastes are in kind of these sort of videos that I watch. And the first guy is a guy called Reverend Simon Sideways. That's the channel name. So if you just input that into YouTube, he'll come up. And despite the name, he's not actually a reverend, but a lorry driver. And he kind of just is a lorry driver. He is on our kind of wavelength, speaks his mind, and he speaks it with quite a bit of swearing and this kind of thing. So, he's very, very forthright. So, and in your face in some ways. So he might not be for everybody. That's completely understandable, but I've found him quite interesting and entertaining to listen to. I don't listen to him all the time, just here and there, maybe sort of once or twice a month he'll come up and on my feed and I'll listen to him, but I do find him quite entertaining. And he's got an explanation about the whole lorry driver shortage thing. HGV driver crisis, here's why. And as a lorry driver himself, he kind of explains why there's a shortage. Basically because lorry drivers aren't treated very well, essentially. But I'll leave you to go and look at that one. The other guy, he's completely different, and I recommended another guy, Lee from Veritas Vincit channel, and I still recommend him. He's sort of well worth checking out if you haven't already, but I've already recommended him a couple of times, so I won't dwell on him. But he used to have this, or still does have this guy, one of his mates on, called Marty. And Marty has just started up his own channel, and it's called Marty Bucco, Bucko, and that's all the channel's called. So if you go onto YouTube and search for him, he'll come on. I think he only literally started it about 2 weeks ago, might be closer to 3 weeks ago now, but he's already up to best part of 90 subscribers. So to get that number of subscribers in that short space of time, he must be doing something right. And it took me many months to get up to that number of subscribers. So he's obviously sort of starting to take off, and I predict big things for him. I think he'll sort of go past me in sort of relatively short order and sort of get up to some quite big numbers. And the reason why is he's got this kind of very laid back, soothing manner about him. And if you enjoy me talking, he'll definitely like him talking. And he's kind of a free spirit. He'll break into song here and there as well. And also, I know a lot of my viewers here are sort of Christians, and he's very much a Christian guy. And I'm sort of very open-minded as far as religion's concerned. I sort of like listening to people of that persuasion, and especially if they come at it from a sort of a different angle. And I'm not so much into sort of big church kind of religion, and I don't think he and the other Christian people who watch me will kind of object to me saying this, but yeah, I don't think mainstream religion, and the sort of mainstream church or churches have been, well, they've been pretty disappointing, haven't they, sort of throughout this whole thing. And I don't think they'd argue with me on that. And well, it's like everything else mainstream, anything mainstream, I don't care what it is, media, politics, religion, and well, everything, big companies, they've all been disappointing throughout this sort of malarkey. And just like every other thing, I think the future is, by just going back to the little man and the little woman, both in terms of sort of businesses that you deal with. Hopefully sort of politics will become more localised and less centralised going forward into the future. And also I think as far as religion's concerned, I know I'd much rather listen to a guy on YouTube who's obviously very, very well read on his religious texts, on Marty, and it's clear that he sort of knows the Bible sort of inside out, as well as, you know, other sort of religious texts, and he knows his stuff. And I'd far rather listen to a guy who's knowledgeable but down to earth and just sort of sits like this and talks to you about his religious beliefs and, you know, sort of why he believes in what he believes in. Far more, I'd rather listen to him far more readily than I would by sitting in a church listening to, you know, a proper sort of a priest or vicar, really. And again, I think it's the future of, you know, it could well be the you know, future of religion, just sort of being guided by genuine sort of people who haven't got any kind of agenda, who aren't in the pay of sort of big sort of entities. And yeah, and it's not that he talks about religion all the time. He actually sort of talked in one of his recent videos about the history of the evil cabal, and he goes into this kind of, you know, this sort of cabal of people who sort of supposedly in charge, and what their horrible agenda is, and this kind of thing. So it's not like he's sort of talking religion all the time. And even if you're sort of not particularly religious, I think you'll still find him interesting and entertaining. And if you are of the kind of Christian persuasion, I think you'll find him a really good alternative sort of source of inspiration to listen to. So just a couple of recommendations there for you. You know, two guys totally opposite ends of the spectrum, entertaining in their own way, and in the case of Marty, you know, kind of very relaxing and uplifting and upbeat. And yeah, really well recommended, both of those guys, but especially Marty. So check them out. I'll try and leave links to their sort of latest videos that I've mentioned in the sort of description box and comment section below. I'll leave it there for today. Back tomorrow. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.